Spring is here, bringing with it the 2010 NHL playoffs. I've watched Rock'em Sock'em 6 completing my playoff ritual, so let's get to it! Welcome to the penalty box! Woo! Okay, so I know this is a little late, but with work and everything I had to do, I just didn't have time to film this and upload it before the playoffs started. So I wrote a blog before the game started with my playoff predictions, links down here. But if you can't read or just plain don't want to, here are my predictions video style. Let's start off with the Eastern Conference. The Washington Capitals versus the Montreal Canadiens. What do you get when you combine a roster that includes Ovechkin, Semin, Backstrom, and a hot goalie in Theodore versus a team that barely limped into the playoffs with an OT loss? Montreal seems confident with Plekanec calling out former teammate Jose Theodore on his play, but Jose's been playing his best hockey in years, and Washington's been a juggernaut all season long. I really don't see any surprises here. Washington wins. Sweep! The New Jersey Devils versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, this one could be close. True, Philadelphia was in real danger of missing the playoffs a few weeks ago, but they really came on strong at the end, even without Jeff Carter, and made it to 7th. Philadelphia could give New Jersey a run for their money, with Jeff Carter, Mike Richards, and Simon Gagne being difference makers. But New Jersey has its own difference makers in Brodeur and Kovalchuk. So I'm going to have to take New Jersey in 6. The Buffalo Sabres versus the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are a shadow of what they were last year, with all of their players having off years. Boston kind of limped along all season and really doesn't seem like a legitimate contender right now. Buffalo, meanwhile, won their division and has the best goalie in the league in Ryan Miller. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Buffalo wins it in 5. The Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Ottawa Senators. For the third time in as many years, Ottawa and Pittsburgh face each other in the first round. It seems to me right now like the Sens don't have much to compete with outside of their top line and their best players injured. The Sens might have had a chance with Kovalev. Maybe. But without him, and against the former champs, Pittsburgh takes this one in 6. Moving on to the West. The San Jose Sharks versus the Colorado Avalanche. This one's interesting. The Sharks were once again the best regular season team in the West, with the Colorado Avalanche sitting as 8th seed. But as San Jose has demonstrated season after season, regular season don't mean jack. They're desperate to shed their identity as playoff chokers, but with their top players unchanged, can you do it? Yes, they got rid of 11 players off of last year's rosters, but you still need Big Joe, Marleau, and Heatley to get going. Colorado's got youth, energy, speed, and those are big advantages. So I'm calling the upset right here, Colorado in 7. And this summer, blood will flow in San Jose. The Chicago Blackhawks versus the Nashville Predators. I'm going to say right now, Chicago is the team that's coming out of the West this year. Johnny Taves, Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith, loads of others, they're unstoppable in the West. No contest here, Chicago puts the Predators to sleep in 5 games. The Vancouver Canucks versus the Los Angeles Kings. This series could be very close, or it could be over soon. And it all depends on 2 players, the Sedin twins. If the Sedins are on top of their game, look out LA. But LA does have Ansei Kopitar, Ryan Smith, Michel Handzus, and of course Drew Doughty. Goaltending could also be a major factor here, with Luongo being inconsistent since the Olympics. But if you're putting up Jonathan Quick versus Roberto Luongo, you gotta go with the Olympic champ. Plus, I'm pulling for Vancouver as the last Canadian team I can support. So we'll say Vancouver wins this series in 7 games. The Phoenix Coyotes versus the Detroit Red Wings. Oh, this should be fun. Phoenix has been the league's Cinderella team all season long. They've been surprising a lot of people. Their players are all playing out of their minds right now. You gotta like what you see here. And Detroit hasn't had a good year. They stumbled out of the gate. But then again, many of their big players had injuries. If Detroit starts playing like we know they can, things could get ugly. But I'm sticking with Phoenix in this one in 6 games. And before I go, let me give you my predictions for this year's Stanley Cup Finals. The 2 teams to make the finals will be the Washington Capitals and the Chicago Blackhawks. Washington is peerless in the East, and Chicago will improve off of last year's performance. It'll be a good close matchup as each team is an offensive powerhouse. But the difference this year, like last year, will be goaltending. With the days of Jose 3 or more well behind them, and with a great young goalie like Semyon Varlamov should Theodore struggle, Washington will handle Huey and the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games. Alright, those are my predictions. Let the games begin! Well, continue. So enjoy them, guys. I'll see you back here soon.